Alright, so thanks for joining the girl who does the most awkward starts to lives ever. If anybody's watching this and they do lives, please tell me how you start a live because I have no idea. Is it, hey guys, hi guys, hey guys, hi guys? I don't know, whatever I do is just awkward. So, um, but I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to really miss life right now and all the things that were planned for this week and this weekend. And actually, our book signing down in Waco was scheduled for yesterday, or no, 2 days ago. Wait, yesterday? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It was, what day is it?
Right.
October 17th, March 15th of 1997, 2005. I don't even know. But anyway, we were supposed to go down to Waco, Texas this last week and do a book signing at the Findery in Waco. And so it's just been kind of a bummer missing out on that and missing out on meeting people and introducing our book, which was, you probably know, released this last month. So this is the dress that I bought for the book signing. So I'm going to wear it today. I'm going to rock it. I'm going to make dinner and have kids with dirty hands crawl all over it and not even care because I really like this dress and I wanted to wear it. So
Lots of hearts for the dress.
it is from Lulu's, which was an online boutique that was in one of my feeds as I scrolled down and grabbed my attention, and you're like, order. It's either going to come and be 5 sizes too big and made out of like plastic, or it's going to be a really cute dress from an online boutique. So I do like it. But anyway, that's not why we're doing this. I'm not a fashion blogger, not good at lives. Let's just get that out there. It's not my purpose in life. We all have our thing. Those are not mine. Side note. What is my thing is designing beautiful homes and curating beautiful lifestyles, but also bringing really good things to people's souls. And that good things is the beautiful things that God has done in my life. So last week, Jamie and I did a live together and we talked about peace, which is a chapter in our design book, Divinely Designed. And as this week has been kind of going on and I'm seeing people around us really start to stir with just the ongoing uncertainties of COVID and isolating and quarantine, and most of our states, or are all of our states in a shelter?
Not
order?
quite all of them,
Not
no.
all.
About
Okay.
half, maybe.
Minnesota went into the order, what is it even called, James?
Yeah.
Shelter order on Friday.
Shelter from home.
Shelter from home, yeah.
Some technical term we don't know.
Yes, I know. So it kind of brought a new wave of emotions and responses and just what we can feel in the people that we have been able to stay connected with. And I think the biggest thing with uncertainty is the unknown and the things that we can't control. So when I wrote Divinely Designed, not knowing that COVID-19 would occur, I did an entire chapter on fear, basically, and what it means to have a home that provides safety and shelter in all of life's storms, related and unrelated to what was going on in the world right now, but coming from a very personal, candid place of walking through our last year of life where fear was monumental to the point where I had to confront it to either move into the beauty that God had for my life and the life of my family, or stay there in that fear and in the place of how would you describe, James, being in the place of fear from what we went through? What is like the word that you would use? I mean, it's suffocating.
Yeah, suffocating is one, and it almost gets into a place of depression and oppression,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, like you just because you don't know what's coming or what to look forward to or the answer, the solutions to all of the challenges, you get into a place that can be very depressing. And last year, going through the health challenges that I did, I was at home and isolated already to begin with, just because I was sick in bed. So this journey of like navigating fear in isolation is not new.
Right.
And I want to be a different voice, a different, I want you to hear a different message than what maybe the masses are putting out there. And that's the reason I'm doing this live, even though it's just really not my jam at all. And I probably have lipstick on my teeth.
You're good.
Okay.
You're good. You look beautiful.
I don't even care if I do. But there's a lot of cute memes out there right now, like faith over fear, and there is a voice to that encouragement. But the memes don't tell us how not to have fear. We all have fear. Like, nobody's exempt from it. If you are a living, breathing human, there's something in life that's going to cause fear, and it's a natural response. It's what we do with that fear, how we navigate it, what God does in us to overcome that fear so we can proceed without fear, but proceed with confidence and comfort. And even though we don't know what everything's going to look like, trust that He has us, that we are held, that we are loved. I wrote that in Divinely Designed, what that process is, not knowing that it would be so applicable to this time. This really, really weird time in the world where it just is chaos. But what I do know is that we were in chaos before COVID-19. We were experiencing things like fear before COVID-19. COVID-19 is a new thing, but the things that are coming up inside of us as humans, they're not new. They're just what's there. And when I say I'm navigating, my family's navigating COVID-19 without fear, I'm not coming from a proud, arrogant place of I just don't fear and I just trust God and everything's rainbows and butterflies. I'm coming from the place of I've walked through something twice, but more recently, as of last year, I walked through something where I had to confront fear, and the only way I was able to overcome it was with God. I couldn't do it on my own. So now, as COVID-19's happening, although yes, I will be totally honest, admit there's things that, can make me feel scared, but I really don't. I feel love and compassion for people who are going through this, who are affected by it, for most of our lives that are changing because of it and changing in ways that we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I am overwhelmed with love and compassion for that, but I am not fearful. My family's not fearful. My children aren't fearful. And again, that's not to say out of a place of pride or arrogance, we are just different or we're doing this better. No, we're doing it in a way that the Lord led us through before everybody else, maybe, or not everybody else, because I know other people went through hard things last year. But as the world goes through something together, the Lord led us through this process ahead of time, and so we are in a different place, even though we don't know all the answers. We own a small mom and pop business. I can't sit here and tell you all the things that, you know, we've saved millions of dollars and our business is going to be fine and nobody we know.
Didn't do that.
I mean, I don't save anything, but Jamie does, but it's not millions, and
No.
it's not enough to you know, just put us in this comfy, cozy place of, you know, everything's okay, I hope everybody else is fine. We have very real challenges that we are also navigating through this. But I am not fearful because I've met the one who is our provider.
That's right.
I've met the one who promises to shelter us. I've met the one who says, I'm always with you. And even though we do go through hard things, he's there, and he is not here to watch us suffer. He's here to rescue us.
Mm-hmm.
And so with all my heart, I want other people to feel that in this time.
Right.
I don't know the best way to do it. I do know in this book, I've candidly written about it. And again, that's why I say I would stand on the corner and give this book away for free, because it's not about book sales. It's about something that was freely given to me. And I freely want to give it away. So I wanted to read again part of Divinely Designed. This may prove that my children will fail homeschooling because I'm not a good story reader, book reader, or teacher. In fact, I don't even know what tomorrow's going to look like for real, because I just am not a good homeschooler. But I'm going to attempt to read part of the chapter in Divinely Designed that talks about faith over fear and how our homes were designed by the one who created us and gifted us with everything we have, a home that can be a safe refuge. So that chapter on safety was actually written and it showcases our Pond Cottage project, which is a very, very special project. It was designed for a dear friend of mine who just is a beautiful soul who dances her way through life, and she encouraged me so many times to just take a step back, step away from the things that you know, bring us to the place of fear, and just kind of dance your way through life, not in spite, but because of. And so in this chapter, we show all about her project and how that came to be. And I tell her story, which I'll save for you to read, but I'd like to read our story in that chapter that coincides with that topic. And this might, you know, be longer than anyone wants to hang around, so stay if you want. I won't be offended if you leave partway through. So, a home with safety. This is the Pond Cottage kitchen.
Beautiful.
It was just featured on the cover of Beautiful Kitchens and Baths magazine, and they did a beautiful job shooting it. So it just was another fun little side note about that project. But anyway, I should explain, in each chapter of the book, so we showcase a project, you get all the behind the design, everything on that project, paint colors, where we got lighting, where we got the furnishings, where hardware's from, even appliances. I mean, just, we give it all. It's no holds back on the design. But then in each chapter, we also tell a piece of our story, and then we tell the client story, and then at the end we tell the house story. So then it's a very short recap of who the project was for, what was so cool about it, what were some of the challenges, and then high level design on that end sheet as well. So that's why I say we have our story, their story, and everything in between. But anyway, so with our story, It starts with this. I remember the day so clearly. Jamie and I were out and about, enjoying time together and considering a few potential projects. Usually we're rolling around in the car. I'm making fun of his hair.
Still to this day.
Still to this day.
Probably worse now.
Listening to music, going from job to job. That's the beautiful side of a husband and wife team. And then we're fighting, and the kids are calling, and no, I'm just kidding.
I don't think that's part of the chapter.
Everything in between. So anyway, it was one of those days where we actually were having a really good day, just enjoying each other. About midday, I started to not feel well despite the day's fun. After a quick lunch, we arrived at the project I was most excited to see. As we stepped out of the truck, complete chaos invaded my body. I felt as though I had taken a seat on that old carnival ride, the Tilt-A-Whirl. My inner equilibrium decided to go bananas and spin my entire being into a tumultuous swirl that made my tummy queasy. I could not find stable footing on the same ground where just moments before I stood firm. Then, as if this strange whirlwind sensation wasn't bad enough, the surface of my skin started burning. Like really burning. The best way I can describe it as if my entire body was covered in duct tape. Duct tape does not fix everything, at least not this time. All at once, someone yanked it off. So I'm describing what it feels like to go into an allergic reaction with anaphylaxis. And besides my throat closing up and losing all of my bearings, you get this sensation like you literally are wrapped in duct tape and all at once someone tears it off. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. My lungs were tightening and it was hard to breathe. Pink puffy hives started to well up, covering most of my face and body. What was happening? Was I dying? What was wrong with me? I was so scared. Although the last several years had seemed to be full of miscellaneous health problems, including other anaphylactic reactions, this was very different. It was different and terrifying. Jamie, also frightened, scooped me up to take me home where an EpiPen was waiting in my bathroom drawer. Over the years, we had learned that the hospital was not the best place for me, and almost every medication sent me into further anaphylactic reactions. Back at home, it was a few hours of resting in bed that calmed the whirlwind and settled the chaos. Over the next several horrifying months, I battled these new types of reactions and countless other symptoms that changed my normal, busy life into a daily struggle. Deep down in my heart, I knew something was wrong. It was scary to not know exactly what, yet I was afraid of what it could be. So I powered through living life, surviving, as I attempted to research and nurse my symptoms. Through Dr. Google. My busy life did not have time for a serious illness, nor was it what my life was supposed to look like. I was not a sick person. I was a spitfire, an overachiever, a perfectionist, and one who was able to wrangle our family's crazy chaos with super duper human energy. There was no way I could be sick while knee-deep in the weeds of growing our businesses and wrangling 4 babes who were busy in all different stages of life, or childhood, I should say. No, there was no time to be sick, and no time to get to the bottom of what was making me sick. Well, that is what I was telling myself anyway. The truth was, this was just an excuse because I was really, really scared. And nurturing my fear kept me in a pretty dangerous place. For a lot longer than I'd like to admit. I was getting sicker and sicker. My body was barely functioning. I was becoming allergic to everything. Foods, chemicals, the air, you name it. My hair started falling out. I still have to draw my eyebrows in. Not kidding. And my skin was constantly erupting in reactions. I started dropping weight and was tired all the time. So tired. Finally, I got to a point where I knew that I needed help, but I had no idea where to turn. Years of various doctors and misdiagnoses had proved to be discouraging. Once again, I arrived at a place in life where turning to God was my very best option. Jamie and I prayed together for divine help and answers to all of my perplexing symptoms. I knew one thing: God was not perplexed, and we could trust him even when we were scared. As we prayed and prayed some more, comfort started to replace the fear. As we focused on Christ, his perfect love soothed our hearts. Mind you, life was not perfect, but there was still a perfect comfort. That's a cool thing to say. It's a book in itself. I could feel that he was close, and he provided beautiful signs of his love that made me feel safe. In turning to him, I was reminded of these two verses. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. That's in James. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. We can't love each other perfectly, but God can. And when you know that he loves you perfectly, what is there to fear? I mean, I would like to think that I love my children perfectly. I don't, because I'm human. But in that love for them, I'm going to do everything to keep them safe, even if they have to go through things. Soon after I stopped Googling and turned to the Lord, he quickly led me down a path that started providing answers and help. With his hand, an orchestrated string of events finally brought the correct diagnosis. Though I was not feeling well, Jamie and I had ventured down to Texas for annual road. We had traveled down to Texas for our annual road trip to Round Top Antiques Fair. Whoa, that is a tongue twister. Where we hunt and gather unique building materials and furnishings for our projects. We've done that a few years now and have shared that on social media, and it is like just our favorite thing because we go down and find things that nobody else has and incorporate them into our projects. So when I was sick, I wasn't gonna let sickness stop me from going there and getting beautiful salvage doors. We went anyway, which in hindsight, not sure, who was leading who in that pact, but while there, I did ingest something that caused an anaphylactic reaction, which sent me to the hospital for the quickest dose of epinephrine. There was something about my other symptoms that prompted the ER doctor there to order a full panel of blood work. Of course, of action that is unusual when treating anaphylaxis. Usually they just pump you full of epinephrine and some other steroids and they send you on your way. But this doctor was like, there's too many other things happening here. I know you're an out-of-town visitor, but I still would love to run this full panel. Although we would be back home before the results came in, the doctor just felt it was necessary. I had a feeling that the blood work would finally lead to answers in all my health problems. So after the quick shot of epinephrine and the panel of blood work, I was feeling better, and we decided to resume the shenanigans of our road trip. Epinephrine gives you a little bit of a jolt. So instead of going back to the hotel and resting, we went back to Round Top, and let's be real, there was no way that any sickness or anaphylaxis is going to stop me from filling up a 22-foot U-Haul truck with amazing treasures. If you do know me, you know I would have to be dead to pass up beautiful salvage doors and architectural pieces. The shot of epinephrine had me zooming around Round Top like the Energizer Bunny. I'm pretty sure we scored all the best finds in all of Round Top. Jamie did all he could to keep up with loading treasure after treasure into the orange and white box truck. In fact, there are pieces now lovingly placed in clients' homes that I refuse to abandon even when the anaphylaxis had first started. I think it's funny to kind of side note tell about the findery, and that's where our book signing was supposed to be this weekend. The anaphylaxis actually one time, anaphylaxis had actually started while I was waiting in line to check out at the Findery, but I had such good stuff in my pile, and there was other shoppers behind me looking at my stuff. So I was not about to abandon it and have it lost to other shoppers. So I stood there and I could tell, I'm like, okay, my throat's closing up. It's really closing up. It's really closing up. But this fireplace surround will be so worth it. So we checked out and then drove straight to the ER. After the truck was filled to the brim, we started the long drive back to Minnesota. 17 hours in a box truck with each other. It's really romantic. You can't even hear each other, it's so loud. So it's quite the trip. Jamie and I talked a lot about over the loud romantic noise of air, what it would be like to face our fears and reach to God for full and complete health. During the 18-hour drive, we prayed and prayed for clear test results and for a clear path to walking out healing. As we got close to home, I felt the Lord speak two very specific things to my heart. First, I did hear him say the test results would reveal something serious, something that might seem scary. Second, I should not be afraid, as he was going to lead me through a clear path directed by his hand. I knew his voice, and once again was expectant of what he was about to do. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will hold on to you with my righteous hand. I've seen it before. I've lived it before. And that word, that scripture, immediately came back to my heart. And even though I felt news would be coming that would be scary and bring even more fear onto the scene of my life, I was comforted that no matter what, I had a God who cared about me, loved me, and I was in his sights, and he would not leave me, and he would strengthen and help me. I just believed that. I believed it since I was a little girl, even though it's been tested and tried in my entire life in ways that are more challenging than what most people, or I shouldn't say most, what some people walk through. We've also walked through things with friends and family that are very hard. And so I'm not trying to say I walked through so much harder, or, but I do know we've gone through quite a bit of things that are different. And I just really, since I was a little girl, I just believed in God, and I knew I could trust him because he would always be there. And so that is something that I've always drawn on in hard things that are full of uncertainty. I don't know the answer to everything, but I know he does, and he's always there. A few days after we returned home, the blood test results arrived in the mail. I was standing in the kitchen here and I saw the envelope come in one day. Without fear, I opened the sterile white envelope. I knew that no matter what, I was safe in my Father's arms. The results? Well, they were concerning. Across the board, I had several markers of various autoimmune disorders. Mainly the diagnosis of mast cell activation disorder, as well as dangerous deficiencies and anemia. Most alarming was that my liver was in serious trouble, which we didn't really know. We knew a lot of bad things were happening and something serious was wrong, but we didn't know at the time or before the test results that it was actually my liver. Mast cell activation disorder had violently attacked my liver, and my body lost the ability to fight both actual toxins and things it perceived as toxic invaders. Though my hands shook as I held the results, my heart was surprisingly calm. Honestly, unsure of what to do next, but confident God was with me and he was going to help me. In a display of beautiful grace, he did not delay in shining a light on the next step and offered great comfort as I took that step. Here in the place of trusting his grace, a deep, deep trust was cultivated. I felt the comfort he promises when simply standing in his perfect love, the place where fear cannot simultaneously stand. What occurred over the next several months is a story that could be an entire book in itself, full of lessons about the true infinite beauty of God's heart and his heart for our healing. But I will summarize that journey with this. Continually drawing near to him kept me safe in a battle that could very easily have taken my life. Over the course of 9 indescribable months, I fell in love with this one thing. In his arms, I was safe. In his arms, fear is hushed and safety is realized, despite the ferocity of the storm. Do not get me wrong, there were many dark days during the months of treatment, but it was stepping out of the darkness of fear and into the light of the Lord's protective presence that taught me where God's promises shine bright. His presence is summoned by prayer and praise. The word tells us to face fear with the garment of praise for the Spirit. I absolutely praised my way out of fear and into a place of safety over and over and over again. Rather than drowning in fear and the darkness of my circumstances, my heart and my home became places filled with a bright, beautiful song, praising who God is and what he can do. That song also infiltrated the hearts of my family. These words spoken by my handsome hubby, Daddy Bird, will feather our nest forever. It is not what in our circumstances that will captivate us, but the who. As I type these words, I'm here to say that it is the who that has made me whole and well, and the who beat mast cell activation disorder. Mama Bird is back in operation and more determined than ever to make my home a safe haven for these little naughty birdies. No, they're good birdies. No matter the circumstances, where the Lord is our protector. We do not serve fear or darkness, but only serve him, trusting that no matter what, he holds us safely in his hands. And I'll end with this. My darling friend, your nest must be the safe haven for your family. It is your home that provides your birdies shelter from all of life's storms. Most importantly, that shelter is safest under the coverage of the one who flies most high. In the chaos of life, many things present the opportunity for us to hide our nest under the darkness of fear. Though that darkness is heavy, it does not provide us any protective coverage. It only forms a barrier between us and the one who can truly cover us in safety. You, my love, that's you, our Mama Bird, and you have a beautiful song to sing, a garment of praise that calls on his design coverage. A simple chirp is all it takes to call upon the Lord. Refuse to let fear rule your nest. Instead, embrace the comfort that comes from the protection of his perfect love. There is no greater sense of security than when the strong but gentle wings of the Lord swoop down and cover your nest with his love. Under his wings, you are safe. And that is just one of the beautiful reasons why he is worthy of our praise. Test and see how beautifully the sound of praise will decorate your home. So, I think we talked about this in last week's live, but turn off the TV. I know we need some information to navigate things and not bury our head in the sand and be ignorant of all the things that are going on in the world. But I am telling you, turn off the TV and turn on Lauren Daigle. Turn on, I don't know, who else? Who else did we listen to so much? I Am They.
Bethel Music.
Bethel Music, Hillsong.
Upper Room,
I mean, just, there's so many beautiful songs out there that you don't even have to reinvent the wheel. It's just putting the music on instead of the constant inundation of information that may or may not even help you or change your life today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of it's just too much information. And turn the music on. And not that it's always that, praise music in our house. We definitely, we love our, nights cooking together where we've got, country love songs on and all that kind of stuff too. So I'm not being like a total unnormal person and just saying, constantly, but I will say this. When you're feeling that heaviness of fear, you turn that music on, turn on Lauren Daigle, turn on Promise, turn on Who God Is, and it reminds you of what you can have confidence in. So anyway, hope you're hanging in there, sending so much love, so much compassion. Jamie and I are just bursting with the desire to wrap our arms around people and be a comfort during this time, because we know what we went through last year with unrelated things but similar experiences, and we had people wrap their arms around us and remind us that life isn't always going to be this way. The best is yet to be. So, XO.
So are you sure you want to end?